Hello everyone, today in this presentation we will discuss about the physical examination of the genitourinary system in children. This system plays an important role in maintaining the body's fluid balance and in eliminating waste through urination. As nurse, understanding how to assess this system help us detect early abnormalities and provide proper nursing care for children. This is our members of group, Rima Octavia, Runi Nathanael, and me, Intan Maria. So, before we know the physical examination for genitourinary system, we must know what is the genitourinary system. The genitourinary system, also known as the urogenital system, includes both the urinary organs and the reproductive organs. These two systems are closely related because they are located near each other and share some similar structure and functions. The urinary system removes waste and regulates body fluids, while the reproductive organs are responsible for growth and reproduction. Together, they maintain important physiological balance in child's body. Next, about the objective of the genitourinary physical examination are to identify any abnormalities in the urinary and reproductive system, to assess elimination function such as urination, to detect the presence of infection or structural disorders, and lastly, to provide a basis for nursing intervention that support the child's overall health. Next, before beginning the examination, the nurse must prepare both the environment and the child. First, wash hands thoroughly and wear clean gloves to maintain infection control. Second, explain the procedure clearly to the child and parents to reduce the anxiety. Third, maintain the child's privacy during the assessment, especially because this area is sensitive. And lastly, ensure the room is warm and well illuminated so that the child feels comfortable and the examination can be performed accurately.
Additional assessment. Additional assessments include observing the child's urination pattern, its frequency, volume, and any associated pain. Nurses should also document any complaints such as dysuria, incontinence, or hematuria. Supporting laboratory tests like urinalysis and urine culture also can confirm the presence of infection or metabolic problems. Now we're moving into the age-based examination. The genitourinary examination should be adjusted based on the child's age. For the infants, the focus on the number of wet diapers, urinary reflex, and also genital inspection. And for toddler, like we do the training progress, we do the elimination control as a nurses. And for the adolescents, examination includes like assessment of tenor stages while maintaining privacy and emotional comfort. For the abnormal findings, common abnormal findings in genitourinary system include urinary retention, enuresis or bedwetting, UTI or urinary tract infection, also anatomical abnormalities such as phimosis, scrotal hernia, and also hypospadias and also epispadias. Early recognition of this condition enables timely intervention and prevents long-term complication.
And then we move to the age-based examination. For neonate, we can inspect for congenital abnormalities and then check the urine output, palpate the descended testes in males, and observe labia, clitoris, and vaginal discharge in females.
For toddler, we can assess the toilet training, readiness, and the urination habits. And then we can do the observe for daytime wetting, and then maintain privacy and use play-based communication. For school-age child, we can ask about the urinary frequency, pain, and hesitancy, and then we can observe for hygiene, redness, and irritation. For adolescents, we can respect privacy and ensure same-gender examiner if possible, and then we can assess pubertal development, and then screen for infections, hygiene habits, and sexual health education. And then we move to the abnormal findings. We can check for cryptorchidism, hydrocal, hypospadias or epispadias, UTI, aenuresis, labial adhesion, and ambiguous genitalia. And then for the nurse's role, we as a nurse, we can provide comfort and ensure privacy, explain procedure in age-appropriate language, use therapeutic communication, observe and record findings, educate the parents, collaborate with the physicians, and maintain professionalism. For the evidence-based practice, it is contained that studies show that child-friendly communication and parental presence significantly reduce anxiety during physical exam. That using play or distraction also improve cooperation in the young children, and routine genitalial inspection in infancy helps early detection, and early screening for UTI reduce risk of kidney complication. EBP recommendation also told that nurses should perform comprehensive, age-appropriate, and culturally sensitive genitourinary assessment.
Finally, now we are in the conclusion. The genitourinary physical examination is essential for assessing, elimination, and detecting abnormalities early. Nurses play a key role in the process, not only in performing the assessment, but also in providing education and collaborating with other healthcare professionals. Every examination should be carried out politely, safely, and according to the child's age to ensure comfort and accuracy. This is the references that we use in our presentation, and that concludes our presentation on the physical examination of the genitourinary system in children. Thank you for your kind attention. We hope this presentation helped us all understand the importance of accurate assessment and compassionate nursing care for every child. Thank you and have a nice day.